The Israeli military has confirmed that the remains of 4 more hostages handed over by Hamas on Tuesday have been brought into Israel from Gaza. The transfer came after Israel urged Hamas to fulfill its part of the agreement and make the necessary efforts to return all the hostages to their families from a proper burial. It warned that any delay or deliberate avoidance will be considered a gross violation of the agreement and will be responded to accordingly. Now, already on Monday, Hamas had transferred the remains of 4 hostages just hours after releasing the last 20 living hostages under the ceasefire deal brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump. Now, those whose remains were handed over on Monday were Israeli citizens Guy Iluz, Yossi Sharabi and Daniel Peretz, as well as Nepalese agriculture student Bipin Joshi. Separately, a Gaza hospital said it had received the bodies of 45 Palestinians handed back by Israel, also as part of Trump's plan to end the war. Under the deal, Israel was to turn over the bodies of 15 Palestinians for every deceased hostage return. Hamas is still holding the bodies of 20 hostages, which are expected. While demonstrators gathered in Tel Aviv to celebrate the liberation of all living hostages and demand the return of the remains of the dead hostages still held by Hamas. Israel has said that it will only allow half the agreed number of aid trucks into Gaza starting Wednesday, according to a note seen by Reuters and confirmed by the UN, over the slow release of hostage bodies. Now, Trump, in a post on social media, said, "The job is not yet done. The dead have not been returned as promised," but added that phase 2 begins right now. Among the key issues is, of course, the disarmament of Hamas. Trump said that U.S. will disarm Hamas if the Palestinian group refuses to do so themselves, adding that it could be done violently if needed. Now, this while Hamas is tightening its grip on Gaza, launching a crackdown and executing alleged collaborators. The Palestinian group published a video on its official channel showing the street execution of 8 blindfolded and kneeling suspects, branding them as collaborators and outlaws. The footage, apparently from Monday evening, emerged as armed clashes were underway between Hamas's various security units and armed Palestinian clans in parts of the territory on the 5th day of the U.S. brokered truce between Israel and Hamas. And earlier we were joined by Giorgio Kefiro. He is a professor at the Georgetown University and CEO Gulf State Analytics. Now listen in to what he had to say on the ceasefire agreement and the hostage release deal.
Well, there is a tremendous amount of pressure on Hamas to disarm, and that is obviously an important factor. And Hamas, I mean, even going back before this month, they were clear that they would, in principle, be open to, they would be willing to disarm if Israel is going to withdraw from Gaza. But many on the Palestinian side and many observers do not believe that Israel will actually carry out a complete withdrawal from Gaza. And within this context, it's sort of difficult to imagine Hamas agreeing to disarm. If we're going to try to see this from Hamas's perspective, they don't want a situation where they disarm and then Israel can restart its genocidal war on Gaza without the Palestinians in the enclave being able to defend themselves. They would see that as a suicidal move. But at the same time, Hamas does not have too many good options right now. So it's obviously right to point out that Hamas is under a lot of pressure, no good options on the table.